Hey, Garrett, thanks a lot for doing this. I would always be there at Hershey. You know, I'm a little bit younger than Pat, so I can make those early calls. So the
You have nothing to do either, better. So
when you're playing the rivalry teams and you're going to be playing them closer together in that condensed schedule, you know, Lucas said the games are always chippy. We've always seen that against Lehigh Valley and Wilkes-Barre. Do you anticipate them being a little bit more chippy and a little more physicality in those games as they're piled up one on top of another this year?
For sure. I think when you play a team so consistently like that, I mean, you're going to start kind of hating each other in a way. And I think with the amount of times that we play each other and how closely, like you said, they are, I think there's going to definitely be some pretty heated games. And, you know, that's going to be good, I think, for us and for the young guys on this team and all that, I think, to kind of develop that competitiveness.
Go to Nate from CBS 21. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. You're kind of making this question easy. The mask situation, how are you guys adapting to it? You guys have to wear them on the ice. How is that going for you guys?
Oh, we don't have to wear them on the ice. It's just within the dressing room and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's honestly pretty easy. I think like it's different when you come off and you have to go to certain places. But I mean, we have masks kind of all over the place. They're in the middle of the locker room. They're in our change room. They're kind of all over the place, weight room, everything. So if you are missing it, you're putting it right on right away.
You know, our players are, they will have to wear their masks in all common areas. So walking into the interview room, all of our players were wearing masks. They can't take them off if social distancing is maintained, while you saw Carbs as well as Lucas without masks as well, just as a note for everyone. But next question, we will go to Kyle Mace, Chocolate Hockey.
Hills, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So Carbs was talking about the dates between the last times that you guys were on the ice at I think he said 316, and then now you're going to be only together for 100 days. So putting that in contrast, not being on the ice for so long, playing games, and then now having to play so many games in such a short period of time, how do you think it's going to be getting the legs back up to game speed here and playing so many games in such a short period of time? What do you think? How do you think everybody's body is going to be responding to it?
I think obviously, I think you have such a long off season. I think and with different restrictions, it was kind of hard to find ice, I think, throughout that whole process. But I think for the most part, a lot of us did a good job of trying to stay in shape. And obviously, coming back into camp here, it's a different kind of beast. Getting back up to that game shape. But at the same time, I think our practices have been pretty high tempo, and I think that's one of the focuses is kind of getting our feet back underneath us. So when we start that game on February 5th, we hit the ground running.
We'll go to Ali Barubi from ABC 27.
When you think about this season, right, maybe we don't know about playoffs. We don't think there's going to be a Calder Cup. You only have 100 days together. How do you attack the next couple of months? And how do you also stay motivated? What keeps you going?
Honestly, it's a huge opportunity. I think the fact that we're even getting to play is a big thing. And I think that's a motivation in itself, is there's an opportunity for guys to necessarily change the way the organization looks at them, change the way, even like it's an opportunity for our team to do well and to even move into next season. If there is no playoffs with, hey, we capped off a great season last year, we're going to do it again kind of thing. And I think it's an opportunity for everyone to get better. I think, we have such a long off season, you're off the ice, you're away from your team. And I think getting back into this mindset is an opportunity for guys to get better.
On that point, then, how important was it that the AHL played? I mean, it seemed like they were walking a really fine line of whether or not they were or weren't going to play. How important do you think this opportunity is for guys like you who are trying to, make it to the next level?
It's a huge year. I think, anytime you lose a year, you get you're a year older and all that sort of stuff. And you're missing that opportunity to create a different mindset of what type of player you are. For a lot of guys, I say this again, it's such an opportunity for guys to create something. The fact that we're getting to do this is huge.
Go back to Kyle Mace with a couple more. Kyle, go ahead.
You just kind of touched on it here with the motivating factor a little bit. When you're looking at these opportunities now for you personally, you got 2 years under your belt, you're in your third year. What's your mindset here now to try and push to take that next step, to be maybe looking at a call-up, maybe looking at a taxi squad opportunity if it came along, or looking to try and get a shot for a game or two in the NHL this year for you personally?
I think it's obviously taking the feedback that I got from Washington and applying it to my game down here. I think that's a big thing, is there's there's a way that they want you to play in a way. And I think it's being able to improve your game here and kind of fit that mold. And I think that's the big thing, is obviously fitting a role up at the NHL level. And when you come down here, not to change the way you play. And that's kind of the thing that I'm going to be focused on this year, is kind of trying to play the way that they want me to play, and, hopefully improve and be that type of player, and hopefully eventually earn a call up.
And then you touched on it a little bit before with playing 3 teams in a row and having this rivalry. Do you think, because you are going to see these teams so much over and over and over, that it might have somewhat of a playoff feel at times to be playing these teams, and you get, hey, you get to April here and you're playing Wilkes for the 11th or 12th time already, and you guys have just been butting heads so much. If there's no playoff opportunities, do you think that intensity might be there? And if it is, it could be a good thing for you guys?
I 100% agree. I think, we're not competitive people. I mean, I think a lot of hockey players, we're competitive and we want to win. And I think, playing those same teams and going to battle with the same guys in and night out, I think, it's going to create some pretty intense rivalries. And I think I'm looking forward to that personally, because it kind of mirrors that playoff sort of mentality. And I think not having playoffs, I think the season is going to be a big playoffs. I mean, 3 teams, that's playoffs right there. I mean, you have 12, you're playing them 12 times, you're playing them, I don't know, back to backs, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be a great competitive kind of season.
We'll round it out with our last question for Garrett, with Andrew Callista, back to you from Fox 43. Andrew?
Hey, Garrett. The Hershey Bear alums and some veteran guys, they always talk about the community atmosphere, around the team. Obviously, that's going to be different. How do you go about maybe taking a younger player that's coming in saying, this is what this town would normally be like? And do you think not being able to be out in the community as much as it is might affect a little bit of like the mental breaks that would be built into the season kind of?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's such a social change, I think, from what we're used to. I mean, you're a big part of hockey too is, it's being out in the community and helping, going to the hospitals, going to the schools, and kind of getting out there and being part of the community that we're not necessarily a part of for the whole year. It's usually just the hockey season. I think, that helps you almost get more in touch with kind of where you're playing and the fans that you're scoring in front of and playing in front of. And I think missing that's going to be definitely a bigger thing. I mean, fans here in Hershey are great, and we usually get huge crowds and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to miss, being able to see fans in the Giants Center like that. But at the same time, we're still motivated to play for the fans, the ones that are watching at home. And I think that's going to be a big motivation too.